So, hey guys,
Hi.
welcome back to New Digs, and we are here in my little patio in front of my house in the northwest corner.
Yes, getting kippered.
Yes, yes, we're smoking ourselves. But it's February 1st, and so we've made it through the doldrums of January and are now getting a little stir crazy.
Yeah.
So we were starting to talk about some goals that we have for 2023.
Yeah, sort of gardening, New Year's resolutions, things that we want to get done this year. And your goals may vary.
Right.
But
Exactly.
we thought we would tell you sort of some basic things that we were trying to get done this year.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start out with just goal number one, organization.
Indeed.
I think everybody has some part of their gardening world that they need to get organized.
So yeah, I think some of those organizational things we could actually do now. This is a good time because you can't do too much outside. But I know we were talking about, for example, organizing seeds, which I need to do.
And that's important because we haven't done our seed order yet for the year. And it really have to get your seeds organized that from last year.
Yeah.
Throw away any of the old ones and that are past the date. Anything that was in the like lettuce family or greens or only have a 1 year shelf life.
Oh, okay.
So it's good to kind of get rid of some of the things that they're old, so you know what to order.
Seeds.
Organize your potting shed. If you're so lucky to have a greenhouse, you might want to kind of tidy that up. I know that I've got behind my potting shed a pile of nursery pots that I keep thinking that I'm going to use them all, but it's gotten ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
and I think too, I want to take a look at my tools. I think I have things. I know last year you sharpened a lot of your own tools.
Yeah.
I need to look at mine to see.
take stock.
Because I know some of my pruners in particular probably need to be sharpened. Maybe you can show me how to do it. Or if I'm lazy, I know there's a small local hardware store in my town that will sharpen tools. So that's an idea too, maybe as we get a little closer.
Yeah. So number 2 on our list was to learn a new gardening skill.
Love that.
Or study a new topic. And actually the winter's the perfect time to do that because you can't get out and do a whole lot. So you can get a book from the library. You can get online and watch videos. You can sign up for classes and things like that. So I personally want to get better at propagating. So I think I'm going to have to.
And propagating, you mean
making new plants. I think I'm fairly good at seed starting and dividing plants, but I want to get better at doing cuttings off of existing plants, and my percentage is pretty, not great, and I'd like to get better at that. So
cool.
That's something I'd like to do, but somebody else might want to really learn orchids or house plants or raising roses or some other specific type of plant, fruit trees,
right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was thinking I'd like to learn more about companion planting in the vegetable garden. I have a book, Carrots Love Tomatoes. I think
that one.
Yeah, it's a great book, but it's a whole book about plants that like each other, and I kind of want to boil that down to something simple that I can manage instead of feeling like I need to have the whole book encyclopedically downloaded into my brain. It just means plants that help each other, either by repelling pests or they like the same conditions, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my goal.
Great. So number 3 we thought would be just to think of a project you want to do in the garden, and not. It's so easy once gardening season gets here to kind of spread yourself too thin.
Absolutely.
So there's maintaining your garden, but then just pick one new project to start. If you can't start 10 new beds, you'll never be able to achieve it.
Exactly.
You'll never be able to maintain it. It's too much.
Right.
So you had some paths you wanted to
Yeah.
work on. There's places in your garden that you wanted to be able to access better, and you've got such a beautiful piece of property. It'd be nice to be able to stroll it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and you know, I have over 5 acres, but a lot of it is wooded. And I found a couple of nice rock formations that are covered with moss, and they make sort of a natural little grotto formation. So one of those in particular, I want to make a path that from the garden that exists on this upper level leading down into that
Right.
little grotto area, because I think it would be fun to, you know, just have a little perambulation down there once in a while
Yeah.
and sit. So that's a goal I have for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And the last thing we were talking about, number 4, is make it a goal to make some improvement in your garden that has a benefit to the birds or the pollinators, or you know, put in a bug hotel.
I want to do a bat house.
I was gonna say a bat house.
I love bats.
Bats are great for the environment, and they have trouble on their own these
Yeah.
days. So you know, make a pollinator garden. The birds, you could plant things for them by planting berries
Yeah.
that they like. The birds benefit a lot by having a lot of good insect life in your garden.
Exactly.
And that's the really important thing. So if you plant things that are native, that attract the native bugs, it's automatically good for the birds. Something I'm always trying to do in my garden is to remove invasives. It's sort of an ongoing project I do.
And just by invasives, what do we mean? I mean,
An invasive is a plant that is not native to this area,
okay.
that outcompetes our native plants that actually have benefits to the local wildlife.
So it's a plant that's not native, but that is more successful than we would like it
it's
to
too
be.
successful.
Right.
Like winged euonymus or barberry are very successful because the local deer don't eat them, but they produce berries that the birds eat, but they don't provide the nutrition that the birds really need. So
Got
if
it.
you take them out, you make room for native plants that actually are going to provide the correct nutrition for the local birds.
Because I know some insects in particular kind of co-evolve, right, with native species. The two evolve together, so they support each other. So,
Absolutely.
and if you have the invasives, they're competing with the plant species that those insects need. Then the
Right.
insects in turn are feeding the birds.
Exactly.
So it's a whole web.
It is. It is.
Because you think to yourself, oh, well, it's a couple of winged euonymus, what's the big deal? But they're extremely prolific.
Right.
And as you say, they're crowding out.
And what happens is
stuff.
the birds eat the berries and then they spread their seed out in the woods. So it may not seem like they're spreading in your garden, but they are just completely overwhelming local woodlands.
Yeah.
And just sort of chip away at it and make that sort of a goal to get rid of a few every year. You can make improvements. Right.
So yeah, I have an area. I've mostly been focusing in my new digs on the upper level here, if you've watched any of our videos, you've seen the big beds that I've done up here. But I really have ignored the back part of my property,
Which is beautiful.
it is beautiful.
But it's going to be a tackling a nature kind of
Yeah. So that's I'm going to zoom in on that area. I'm going to maintain all of this and keep up on the weeds. I did pretty well with that last year. I was kind of proud of myself. So I want to, really stay on top of that this year. But I do want to attack that back area if I can deal with those. I have another beautiful kind of rock garden sort of area back there that I can mess with. But I have to get it cleaned up first.
Well, that's the good thing is this: once you start removing invasives, you've made a whole new place that you
Right.
can plant something good,
Exactly.
which is good for a plant loader.
Yeah, well, but I did a lot of dividing last year too in my garden of things that I had, and I'm sort of looking forward to doing that again this year. I think my gardens are going to start filling in. Yours are too, and so that's the joy. I mean, we've been in our gardens a couple of years now, so they're still new digs, but we're getting to that point of maturity where some things are.
It actually looks like a garden.
It looks like a garden, and some things are ready to be divided, so we'll have more plant material. So we're so looking forward to spring. But you know, it's just nice to have these little kind of New Year's resolution-ish belated goals
Yeah.
to think about. Yeah, so glad to see you here on this kind of chilly day. It's only about what, 20 something,
Yeah.
but we're pretty intrepid. And now that we're smoked, I think it's even
Yeah.
even better.
We'll keep longer.
Yes,
because we're
exactly. Exactly. So thanks again for joining us here on New Digs, and we'll see you next time. Bye.